Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you are doing well and are ready for another time together for the weekly exhale. I am excited to keep us moving into this series, the exit strategy. So we are going to get right into it. I know some of our teachers and educators are probably back at school today. So shout out to those who may be in your car, you may be riding along, you may be trying to decide if you can listen a little bit or a lot or whatever. I'm trying to get myself positioned, y'all. In full transparency, I almost overslept this morning. And then I had to kiss my husband goodbye because he's going back to school to teach. So give me a second to regroup here. Um, Anywho, I'm excited for today is part 4 of our series, The Exit Strategy. And if you've been here for the other sessions, kudos to you because this is going to build on our last 3 sessions. The first session, just as a recap for those who haven't been here, is the first one was starts with the exit strategy does not start with a door, it starts with a decision. So it's the power of a decision that gives us direction. And then our choices follow our decisions. Once we've determined that something no longer serves us, we've the subscription has expired, it's time to shift, it's time for something new, different, better, wider, larger, smaller, or whatever it is that you feel. The second week, we talked about something that's really critical, which is no. Giving your no more power, more expansion, being able to recognize when a no is in order. It's an obstacle that we sometimes allow to run the show when we cannot give a wholehearted, full chested no. And then the third week, we talked about something that's essential is once you have a no, then what is next? Like, when you have a decision, like, what do you have to do? And so last week we talked a lot about not only the power of yes, but knowing what you want. So many of us have been performative throughout our lives. We've checked boxes, we've met unspoken standards and requirements, and all of the things that we've lost the sense of what we want. We've lost the sense of imagining, we've lost the sense of wonderment, we've lost the sense of exploration and curiosity because we have assigned ourselves to a certain identity, and this is it. That's all that exists. And so last week gave us permission to imagine. And how many of you imagined last week? How many of you actually took the steps to go in and answer some of those questions? If everything were everything, what would I want? If I wasn't thinking about my children or my finances or my work or my job, what is it that I would really want? Some of them may be tiny wants. Some people may just want to, have a few more days off. Or some people may have huge wants. They want to relocate, or they want to be married, or don't want to be married, or whatever it is. And the want comes from a true place of desire. And it doesn't have to be filtered, it doesn't have to be vetted or sorted through. Your want doesn't require anyone else's approval. It's your want. It's my want. It's our want. We don't have to have the approval of anyone else. And so today, we are going to take it a step further. And here's what I'm going to hit you with today. So y'all be ready. Those who are watching the replay, y'all get ready. Take the time to sit down or when you're walking or whatever, but really get into this because I'm going to hit you with this. When you're ready to move, to exit, you can't have both. You can't have both. Your yes is going to require a different version of you. So, for those who are unfamiliar to me in this weekly exhale, who may be joining us or watching us on replay, I'm Dr. Jada, physician, author, physician, coach, speaker, best-selling author, entrepreneur, and I help high-achieving and results-driven women to not only weigh less, but to further your personal success, whether it's through my medical office, my online content, my book, or even my retreats. I want you to not only look great, but feel better and live life at your best. So let's get into it. I want you to just take a moment to think. Just a moment to think. What is your decision for what's next in your life? Just take a moment. Let's take a moment. Just a moment. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take your question a little bit further. I'm going to take this question a little bit further. Because sometimes we prayed for a different life. And we're waiting, still waiting for the prayer to be answered. Um, Sometimes we've gotten frustrated and given up on whatever it is that we prayed for. Sometimes we've decided that it's not for us. Sometimes we question. How many of you have questioned whether or not what you prayed for you deserve? You question whether or not it's really what you want. You question whether or not you can have it. You question whether or not you can handle it. You question whether or not if you have this, then it's going to take from someone else. And then we get frustrated because there's so many things running, so many reels, that's what they are, that are running in our heads at a certain point. But what we may not be catching a hold to is that we've got to do something that we haven't done before in the midst of our waiting, in the midst of our prayer, in the midst of our believing. And some of us, that's one of the things that we haven't done before. We haven't really deeply believed in ourselves. We've set goals, maybe even accomplished many, many things and been very successful, but not really believing in yourselves. So think about it. We pray for peace. Then we become, I'm trying to get myself positioned, irritated or frustrated. Maybe we pray for better health. Then we can get frustrated and irritated. Then we become like, what's going on? But the truth of the matter is, better health requires discipline. It requires choices. We made the decision, but the choices have to line up. You know, we pray for stronger marriages. Then we realize that stronger marriages, it requires uncomfortable conversations. It requires communication in a way that you haven't communicated before. Trust me, I know. It requires a higher level of vulnerability that we have not been willing to have. Openness. Those are required for something different. You see what I mean? You see where I'm saying yes, we're praying for it. However, and also there is something that is required of us. Our yes requires something of us. We pray for financial freedom. Then we get upset when it requires us to change our spending habits. You want to have financial freedom, but can't stay off of Amazon. Amazon packages coming every day with something that you need. When many times we confuse needs with wants. And it may not even be a want. It's a I saw it. Somebody told me about. Now it's on your mind. It ain't even something that you need or want. So we have to really start asking what is required. This is where it goes from being woo-woo and pie in the sky to getting real. We pray for purpose, but purpose asks us to become someone we haven't been before, especially if you already know you're not activated in your purpose right now, your purpose of the season, your purpose of this era of your life. You can't say, well, pray, I got purpose, because we already have the purpose, to be truthful. The purpose is already there. Now, whether or not you've done an activation in that or explored that for what does my purpose look like in this season? Because a lot of times we get our purpose confused and intertwined and entangled with our jobs, our work, what we do every day. We see that as our purpose. And maybe to some account, there is some of our purpose intertwined in there, but that's not all of it. That's not the only expression of it. And that's why you leave feeling unfulfilled. You make big checks, but you're unfulfilled in work. Where is our purpose being activated? And this is not about quit your job, find another job, change careers, but it is something that's you're going to have to do something. It requires you to activate, to do something different in order to begin to feel the fulfillment that occurs with operating in your purpose. And this is not something we put off until we retire, put it off until, so and so go to college, and put it off until you get. These are things, y'all, tomorrow is not promised. It's not promised. I spent a couple of days this past week sitting beside the hospital bed of a good friend of mine who in January and February was running marathons, running 5Ks, lifting 50, 60, 100 pounds in the gym, teaching law classes, traveling this year. But in mid-February, her life took a tragic turn. And now she's in a wheelchair, can't speak, could really barely open her eyes, and in the hospital again, and can't even speak a word, can't move her right side at all, can't express herself at all. Why am I telling you that story? And it's a heart-wrenching story to know the person just a few months ago was living a full life and today laying in a hospital bed. Let me come back from that. after a catastrophic brain event from surgery that was supposed to be a overnight stay, a 2-night stay, that has turned into a life sentence. So let me tell you something. This waiting around, this procrastination in life, this over justification of why we're, not doing something, not operating, not executing, not deciding, not doing what is required. We really have to look at what we want to experience while we have time on this planet. What are we gonna do while we have time on this planet? Because time is not promised. And in this case, in her case, we're not even talking about death. She's alive, but she can't do anything for herself, let alone anyone else. Confined to a wheelchair at best, series of hospital admissions. So what am I saying? I couldn't even ask, is there anything that you would have done differently? So we get to ask the question, y'all. And then we have to realize that there's an uncomfortable truth today. You can keep your current habits, or you can have the future you want. Most of the time, you don't get both. Can't stay stuck in the same stuff, the same patterns, the same words, the same conversations, the same wishes, the same and not doing anything, not making a move, not moving forward, not doing what you have been inspired to do, overthinking, over worrying, coming up with excuses why I can't activate, why I won't activate, and then have this really fulfilling experience that we feel that and know you sense and know that you're called for something different, something better. Time to elevate, evolve. That's the word I want you to pick up is evolve. Doesn't mean you got to go from being a waitress to an airline pilot. Doesn't mean you have to be on stage talking to millions of people to have strong impact and operating your purpose and go to bed feeling fulfilled. It doesn't require that. So a lot of times we have to really determine for ourselves, are we willing to do what is required? Are we willing to? And if you are, start small activations. Maybe you're, ballsy and you would just make a big, huge activation. Either way, you're going to be supported. God knows your desires. He's created an entire universe to support what he put you here to do. You're not living and operating in isolation. It's not only you that gets the job done. It's only you that can be the representation of the job done. But we're leaving out the biggest support and the biggest things we need, we can't even see. There is an unseen world in the spiritual realm that is there waiting for you to make a move, waiting to support you, waiting to help you out, waiting to give you instruction, waiting to help you understand something, waiting to connect you to your next big deal, your next big resource. The whole universe is designed to work in concert with you. I think we get so caught up in this human identity and we put so much pressure on us as a human having a spiritual experience that we lean so heavily in our human that we miss the opportunity for this spiritual construction to help us, to launch us, to be the wind in our backs. And we get scared because we don't think we can do it. It's not just you. You're the conduit, you're the vessel, you're the messenger, but you are never alone. There's already been a way made. There's already provisions underway. It's just waiting on you. You don't need much when you're stuck in an identity. There's something that I call identity debt, DEBT, identity debt. And it's what happens when you're paying every single day to maintain a version of yourself that no longer fits who you're becoming. It's costing you. Does that sound familiar? You got to stay the strong one. You got to stay the fixer, the responsible, the superwoman, the one who never needs help, the good daughter, the good employee, the perfect mother, the woman who can handle everything. Now, here's my question. How much is that identity costing you? How much closer are you getting in that old identity to what you really feel truly is being called forward in this season? There's a saying, if you're not growing, you're dying. We have to choose to grow, and we have to allow older things that no longer are a part of our future to just be pruned. Those are the things that die. Old branches. Oh, y'all know the gardening story right now. A lot of things ain't surviving, by the way. But nonetheless, you have to pick off the plant pieces that are not getting what they need. They're taking energy from something else. A friend of mine was sharing a story about a plant that's been in her family from her grandmother. So this plant is probably easily, she has a piece of it, 60, 70 years old. And it wasn't doing well. And all of a sudden she was like, what's going on? And she could see that there were a couple of piddly vines that were kind of like, they were kind of browning and yellowing and not quite looking good. So she cut them off, trimmed it really good, repositioned it and gave it a little bit of nutrient, got those old pieces off. And that thing started to sprout out within days, the main part of the plant just started thriving and flourishing and growing and standing straight up tall. The old pieces were taking energy away from what was ready to evolve and grow. So, my question is, how much is your current identity, old identity, even your fantasy identity? That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. Sometimes we have fantasized about our lives, our positions, our identities, and whether we met those or haven't met them, that identity, that fantastical identity can cost us. And I'm not talking about financially, not even physically in this case, spiritually, emotionally. I'm saying all of these things, all of these things are costing you. It costs us in our relationships when we can't be authentic. It costs us in our mental state when we stay in places that no longer value us. It costs us emotionally when we're basing our worth on old experiences in our childhood and our past, and we're making decisions as adults from that place. It's very, very expensive. So I want you to write down a sentence for me. Get your journals if you can. Grab your journal really quickly. Sticky note, envelope, whatever you have beside napkin. I want you to write down one sentence. The version of me that created this life as to where I am now. Well, you don't have to put all of that. I'm giving you the framework for it. So write this sentence. The version of me that created this life, which is a good life by all accounts, right? It's a good life. But it still can't take you where you want to go next. So it cannot take me where I'm going. You can build on it. You can take the good parts and the useful parts and the helpful parts and the supportive parts, and you can build on it. But this is one of those things that requires growth and getting out of your comfort zone. There is no need to be comfortable to be successful. There's no need to be comfortable to be able to activate the next stage. Comfort, we often will sacrifice alignment for the sake of comfort. Comfort is not a requirement. Alignment is what you want. That's what's going to get you there, not comfort. Comfort is what we've created as I'm okay here. I'm all right here. However, are you aligned to be where you are now? So I want you to take that challenge to ask yourself, where am I in this? Read it again. Am I going to be comfortable with the woman who survived, just made it through? Or am I going to align with the woman who thrives, who accesses her unseen realm to move through something new and good? Because those are two different women, it's two different tracks. Staying comfortable in survival is gonna be where you allow yourself to stay the same. But to ask and to affirm alignment, to grow, to evolve, it will require you to not be comfortable the entire journey. That's the beauty of it here. That's the beauty of it. And I will tell you what, when you look at, and this is really impressed upon me again, looking at my friend in that hospital bed, full of life at the beginning of the year, and just surviving 5 months later, I almost feel like it would be a travesty to not do and be more than anything all that I'm purposed to be. And that doesn't happen in a day, it doesn't happen in a week, because we don't know the full story. We don't know the full ending. We don't know it. And I think that's what holds us back so often, is the not knowing, the uncertainty. But y'all, that's the fun part. That's the good part. So I just challenge us as we go into this week. Are you going to make the same decisions? Are you going to look at ways to, and even once you decided, again, remember I say choices follow a decision. So it's those everyday choices that either line up with the decision that you've made or they don't. And the choices can allow you to walk closer and closer and closer to something new and different, new and good, new and good. So I'm just saying, and I'm just gonna, wrap it up here, is that you have to understand that yes has standards. If your yes is your health, if your yes is your peace, if your yes is financial freedom, if your yes is purpose, and I'm gonna go for a little bit further. If your yes is fun, so many of us have lived lives of sacrifice for the good, for the whole, taking it for the team, being the one that has to put our dreams and things on hold to take care of business, to be whatever, take care of other people. And that has become an identity. It's okay to have fun in life. It's okay to say, I want to have fun in these next, whatever it is, I want it to be fun. It could be fun and responsible. It could be fun and profitable. Well, that's the way I feel about it. Because we're not here to just stay one way. We're multidimensional. We've just been conditioned to operate in one dimension of ourselves, of our greatness. There's so much more. I just have to say this though again, is that the yes has to have a standard, and it's got to be a sturdy one. It's not necessarily saying you got to become someone else, or not asking you to, you know, have to cut people off. It's not necessary, really. Now, if it is coming forward that in order for me to be able to move forward, I have to release some things, be willing to do that. There's another side coming forward. You got to trust the spiritual realm, God, the angels, the ancestors, all that's pulling and rooting for you. You got to trust. I think in so many ways we put so much pressure on ourselves and created control, become control freaks when we control this much of what happens in our lives. My background mode is tripping, but I want you to see my hand. This much. So I want you to do one thing, quick thing. We got time. Draw 3 columns, 3 lines. If you can't do it right now, that's okay. Just do the 3 columns. Column 1 is my yes, and write down the life that you're building. So column 1 is my yes. Column 2 is what my yes requires of me. Don't be thinking it's going so and so gonna have to grow up, so and so I'm gonna have. What does it require of you, the individual? Because that's all you can activate. Does it require more discipline, boundaries, sleep, movement, difficult conversations, financial changes? Does it require asking for help? Does it require getting out of your comfort zone? What's required? Does it require you to change your diet? To be consistent? Because if your yes has peace, freedom, health, joy, purpose, time, presence, it's going to require something of you. It's not coming out of the sky, y'all. It's not coming out of the sky. It's going to require us to activate. And then in the third column, okay, so the first column is my yes. The second column is what does my yes require of me? And the third column is what am I still trying to hold on to? What am I still, let me make it shorter. What am I still trying to keep? That may be keep eating the same way, keep laying on the sofa, keep working until midnight, keep talking myself out of working out, keep operating in perfectionism, keep people pleasing, keep waiting on somebody else's approval for me to feel valued and worthy. Keep trying to be in control when I really couldn't control this much. Keep being overcommitted, trying to keep up an image that you think matters to other people. Am I still trying to keep up with being indispensable? That means available to everybody and everything. Am I still trying to support other people, give out my savings and give out my money, and then I don't have the financial freedom to do the things that are important to me? Can't fix up my house, can't travel because of this belief system that I've got to do X, Y, and Z because that's just the way it's been. I've always supported this person, so now I got to keep doing it. Or I've always been the matriarch, or I've been assigned the matriarch role, or whatever it is, and don't push it down. If it's coming up, let it arise because those are indicators that your yes is going to require something different of you. So as you complete that column over the week, I don't expect you to finish it today. But as you finish it, go through it and add to it over the week. And trust me, things will come up. Things will come up. Write them down. Don't ignore them. Don't swipe them away. Don't over explain them. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because when you write it down, you give it, that is an activation. That is an activation when you simply get it out of your head, out of your heart, and write it down. That's like giving it oxygen. It's giving it the ability to come into the universe and for activations in the universe to come and work with you. So your journals, pull them out, your sticky notes, your notepads or whatever, pull them out and begin to write these things down. And you'll begin to see what's running your calendar, what's getting your time, what's getting your attention, what's taking you away from the things that you'd rather be doing. Start paying attention to that kind of stuff. You'd rather be working in your garden, but you're driving somebody back and forth to work, or you'd rather be reading a book, but you're having to clean up after adult children. You'd rather be, I don't know. You know, though. You'd rather be actually on your vacation, enjoying it, rather than answering emails and troubleshooting from miles away when you should be off. Maybe you want to try something different in the marketplace. Maybe you want to, who knows? You know, though. And when you look at your calendar, that's a real good way, when you look at your schedule, to determine what's getting your attention. So as we close out, I don't believe that most women fail because they don't know what they want. I think we know, we push it down and don't allow ourselves to fully engage in the permission to have our wants. But even then, once you've identified it, I think a bigger challenge is that we underestimate what our yes will require of us. So your future isn't asking you to become somebody else. We talked about that. It's not requiring that, but it does require you to do something different. Becoming more of what, allowing your who you really are to flourish more. Maybe you've been packing that down and pushing that down. So next week, we're going to stop talking about concepts and we're going to be building this plan, the actual exit strategy. One thing, we're gonna pull together. One thing, and then we'll say, how do you prepare wisely? How do you know it's time? How do you know who needs to be a part of it? How do you execute without blowing up your whole life? How do you leave one season without taking baggage into the next? Because your freedom is not going to happen by accident. Nothing is happening by accident. We have to build these things, y'all. Freedom is built. And it takes courage. It takes honesty. And it takes a willingness to move before you can see all the steps on the path. So let's breathe that in and breathe that out. We're going to inhale. Courage. And we're going to exhale fear. All the way out. Inhale honesty. Keep inhaling. And exhale the lies that we keep living beside. We're going to inhale alignment and exhale comfort. And I encourage you to do that all week long. All week long, I encourage you to do that. The 3 columns. Column 1 is, what am I saying yes to? That's my yes. You can just simply put my yes. Column 2 is, what my yes requires of me. And column 3 is, what am I still trying to keep? All right. Well, we're wrapping up today. I want you to inhale courage, exhale fear this week, inhale honesty, exhale lies. And I intentionally use the word lie. You know, in the Southern culture, you can't be saying the word lie, but we're going to call it what it is. I'm going to inhale alignment this week and exhale comfort. I'd rather be aligned any day than to be comfortable. But it takes time and it takes consistency to get to that, to be really truthful in saying that and feeling that. And it's not all the time. I can say that with a strong chest today, but then when it's time for me to let something go or move something, it may take me a few weeks. But I ain't scared, y'all. I'll do it. I'll do it. And the more you do it, the easier it gets, because alignment produces much fruit. Comfort produces the same amount of fruit you've been getting, sometimes less, but alignment is plenty fruitful. It's plentiful. So get ready for next week. Execute this week, activate this week, and let's get it done, y'all. Until next week, I want y'all to live lighter and carry less. And I'll see you next week on the weekly Exhale. And now I'm supposed to show another clip. I got to practice this. Show y'all this clip. Let's see if I can do it. If I can do it. If I can do it. I just need to see if I can do it. If I can do it. I didn't do it. Oh, well. Oh, there it is. Hamza wanted me to show y'all. So if anybody's interested, if you don't already have the book, feel free. If you have another course that you can grab, girl, go up. Girl, go up.